In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie, I listen to my RonyiQ. They are rare and they are few who can compare with RonyiQ. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for RonyiQ. They are rare and they are few who can compare with RonyiQ. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for RonyiQ. RonyiQ. It's time for RonyiQ. RonyiQ. It's time for RonyiQ. In the morning while I'm driving, Ronnie, I really come alive when it's time for RonyiQ. I listen to my Ronnie, I listen to my Ronnie. It's time for RonyiQ. Take a seat and go meet Ronnie. Sweet, 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 sweet Ronnie. No day complete without my Ronnie.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I am so happy to be here today. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for making it here to hear news that you can use and that you actually can depend upon, that you actually can believe, that has been sourced and resourced and updated from prior news broadcasts. So I have some updating from prior news broadcasts. You know, I've been here giving you the news for about 2 years now. So we have a couple of updates. And the first update that I want to do is on Friday. I told you that Hegseth only had services for Protestants at the Pentagon. So, long story short, this is a long story. Okay, Pete Hegseth sent out a reminder, a email saying, just a friendly reminder, there will be a Protestant service, no Catholic Mass for Good Friday today at the Pentagon Chapel. Now, we have talked about the white Christian nationalist ministers that Hegseth has had showing up doing their white nationalist retelling of Bible stories. Remember we talked about that in the past? So, come to find out, you're in his feelings, head of the Department of Defense is very much in his feelings behind the Pope. The Pope has Hegseth in his feelings to the extent that they did not allow Catholic services in the Pentagon. You know, the chapel where all denominations of people are allowed to have services. No, only Protestants were allowed this year because the Pope had the audacity to preach a sermon. Let me get into the Pope and his sermon, shall we? Where is the Pope? The Pope has some nerves. Listen to what the Pope had to say.
Consensus among all parties is being replaced by diplomacy based on force. We actually have the clip right here. Let's play it for you all.
A diplomacy that promotes dialogue and seeks consensus among all parties is being replaced by diplomacy based on force by either individuals or groups of allies. War is back in vogue, and the zeal for war is spreading. The principle established after the Second World War, which prohibited nations from using force to violate the borders of others, has been completely undermined. Peace is no longer sought as a gift and a desirable good in itself, or in the pursuit of the establishment of the ordered universe willed by God, with a more perfect form of justice among men and women. Instead, peace is sought through weapons as a condition for asserting one's own dominion. This gravely threatens the rule of law, which is the foundation of all peaceful civil coexistence.
If you hear that...
Okay, so that was the message. That was the message that weapons and wars are taking place. What the real meaning of being godly is. So, of course, Pete Kegbreath took high offense to the Pope's message. So then there was a report that I was unaware of, but I became aware of, about exactly what happened to the Pope. Why the Vatican and the White House are on outs. No, I don't want to read that. Let me, I think I want to read this one. Maybe I do want to read that one. Let's get into what happened. Let me share this article with you. You may be unaware that Pete Kegbreath summons the highest ranking person under the Pope to the Pentagon to give him a tongue lashing. And in that tongue lashing, Pete Kegbreath representative referred to 1300 Rome when the Pope was kidnapped and killed because they didn't like his message. Okay, so let's get into this. Hold on one second. Oh, excuse me, I had to sneeze. Okay, let's get into this message and this story. Oh, excuse me. I apologize.
From the whole Middle East that...
Cari fratelli e sorelle, dal Iran e da tutto il Medio Oriente.
Dear brothers and sisters, news continues to arrive from Iran and from the whole Middle East that causes deep concern. In addition to the episodes of violence and devastation and the widespread climate of hatred and fear, there is the fear that the conflict will spread and that other countries in the region, including dear Lebanon, may sink again into instability.
Possano sprofondare nuovamente nell'instabilità. Eleviamo la nostra umile preghiera.
We raise our humble prayer to the Lord that the clamor of bombs may cease, that weapons may fall silent, and that a space for dialogue may open up in which the voice of the peoples can be heard.
La voce dei popoli. Cari fratelli e sorelle.
So, hold on one second. Oh, excuse me. I got on a sneezing tear there. All the pollen is in the air. Excuse me. So who could get mad at that? Who could get mad at that preaching? And notice that he did mention that it could spread, and he actually mentioned Lebanon. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what has happened. It's read to the excuse for Benjamin Netanyahu to annex South Lebanon and kill all the people in South Lebanon, or have 1.5 million people fleeing Lebanon, displaced from his strikes because he wants to create a greater Israel. Who could be mad at that? Pete Kegbreath could be mad at that. Under his false white nationalist Christian agenda, a top Vatican diplomat was summoned to the Pentagon to receive a bitter lecture about supporting President Donald Trump's warmongering. A new report alleges. Now, this report came from the free press, but the story wasn't free. The story was behind a paywall for $8.99 a month that I was not paying. So if you want to read the original story, you can go to the free press and pay to read the story. So I am getting a compilation of what the story was in the free press. Vatican officials briefed on the meeting tell the Free Press that the Pentagon warned Cardinal Christopher Pierre in January that the United States has the military power to do whatever it wants, and that Pope Leo, the first American-born pontiff, better take its side. They said that they can do whatever they want, and the pontiff had better take the United States side. That's what somebody, this man right here, this is the Hegseth fool that called in Cardinal Christopher Pierre and told him that the Pope better take the side of this war warmonger, idiot, Pete Kegbreath, and Donald Trump, and this senile Donald Trump. Did y'all know that happened? I didn't know that happened. I did know that Pete Kegbreath specifically forbade Catholics from having a service at the Pentagon that is paid for your tax dollars and mine for all different denominations of religious practices to have their services. I know he specifically had said that there could be no Catholic services. So it seems like the preachings and the teachings of the Pope has Pete Kegbreath in such a tear that he forbade Catholic services on the holiest of days, Good Friday. Okay. Pierre was reportedly summoned to the meeting by Undersecretary of War for Policy Elbridge Colby, a Catholic who served in the first Trump administration and was nominated by Trump to his current role. Such a meeting between Pentagon officials and the Vatican is believed to be unprecedented. The Free Press writes that Pentagon brass picked apart the pontiff's January speech referring to his inaugural State of the World address. They reportedly took issue with a passage in which Leo challenged Trump's so-called now, it's the Monroe Doctrine, where they felt that they could go to all of the countries in their regions and take over. So Donald Trump called it the Dunroe Doctrine after Don. So the Pope challenged the Dunroe Doctrine, saying a diplomacy that promotes dialogue and seeks consensus among all parties is being replaced by a diplomacy based on force by either individuals or groups of allies. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Hold on 1 second. I apologize. I sound like Don Jr. Now I had to blow my nose. Hey, Nappy Child. Hello, Hillary. It is good to see you. Uh, correctly. Himself is an immigrant, too. He is 100% made in Germany. Germany, I think you mean. Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to have to. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I apologize. I got on a sneezing tear and then I had to go blow my nose. I apologize. Now, let's get back to our story. The bombshell revelation comes as Leo has publicly criticized Trump and his Catholic allocates. First, for their deadly, inhumane migrant crackdown, and most recently for the president's threat on Tuesday morning to annihilate all of Iran. And we would be remiss if we didn't tell you. Remember that your vice president is a newly conformed Catholic. He has found the Catholic religion, and the last pope died the day after your new vice president, that serpent, went to visit him. He croaked the next day. So, what did JD Vance have to say about the reports that now let me get to the what is being perceived as a warning of a death threat. Leo's relationship with the Trump administration soured quickly after he was elected on May 8th, writes Rome-based journalist Mattia Farazzi. The White House invited Leo to return home and celebrated. Now the Pope, this new Pope, he is from Chicago. So what they're saying, when the White House invited him to return home, he's the first American Pope. So the White House invited the Pope to return home and celebrate America's 250th birthday at the White House this summer. But he declined. He was like, thanks, but no thanks. Ferrari writes that the Holy See considered the invitation but decided not to make the trip over a mix of foreign policy disagreements and increasingly vocal opposition of U.S. bishops to Trump's immigration policy, and a reluctance to become a political bargaining chip in 2026 midterm. Leo is yet to travel stateside since his election, and has no public plans to do so. Now, let me get to the death threat or the insinuation of death. Let me see. One Vatican official told the Free Press that the Pope may very well visit the United States under his administration. Neither the White House nor the Pentagon responded to requests for comment. That is Trump's threat to annihilate a whole civilization. Let me see. The Pope calling the war unjust. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, hold on. Leo criticism of Trump became more pointed after the president issued a deranged threat to Iran in a live social post on Tuesday, writing, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will." The Pope, calling the war with Iran unjust, said later that afternoon, "Today, as we all know, there was this threat against all the people of Iran. This is truly unacceptable." Leo went on to point out the harm being caused by Trump's war, which he said is not resolving anything. In fact, we're having a worldwide economic energy crisis situation in the Middle East of great instability, which is only provoking more hatred throughout the world, he continued. So the Pope is being a pontiff. He is being the Pope. Now, let me get to where the threat came in. Let me get to the actual threat. Here we go. Let me change this page to let you understand how they insinuated a threat. I would have taken this as a threat if somebody brought me into the Pentagon and told me, "You remember what they did to someone in your position in the 1300s, don't you?" And if they had murdered the person in my position in the 1300s, I would have considered that to be a threat. Okay, I'm gonna drop the links to both of these stories in my description box under the Pope threat. That's where it'll be, under Pope threat. So let's get into the threat. I got to find the threat in this article. I thought it was in the first article I saved, but I did save two articles about what is going on with this white nationalist, a fake Christian, Pete Keg, in my opinion, Pete Keg breath, and the actual Pope. Let me see. On Easter Sunday, Pope Leo urged the world leaders to lay down weapons and choose peace, to drop the desire to dominate others. It was the culmination of a rhetorical escalation against the Iran war that grew in intensity over Holy Week, when he condemned the imperialist occupation of the world and warned that God rejects the prayers of those who wage war. Remember, Pete Kegbreath did a prayer on stage, praying that God will help them have victory over the people that they're going to war with. The Pope made it clear that God does not accept prayers from people who are praying to harm other people. That, and Keg Breath is very so much in his feelings. It's hard not to see these remarks aimed directly at the leader of the free world and the Christians in his inner circle. President Trump What Christians? The fake Christians in his inner circle. President Donald Trump has not directly addressed the Pope's comment, but behind closed doors, tensions have been building for months, culminating in January when a senior U.S. defense official summons a top Vatican diplomat to the Pentagon. What happened inside that room set the tone for everything that followed. Vatican's official briefed on the meeting, who spoke with the Free Press on conditions of anonymity, described it as a bitter lecture, warning that the United States has the military power to do whatever it wants and that the church had better take its sides. One might wonder why a government. Oh my God! Please do not tell me this is behind a paywall too. One might wonder why a government that has no apparent qualms about bombing foreign countries and capturing or killing tyrants would bother trying to court or demand the Vatican's favor. That answer lies in the remaining global institution perceived to carry a genuine moral authority. Oh, Jesus. Hold on one second. Let me re-Google this and give you the direct threat. Because there's some Good golly, I am back. I apologize. I had to reboot my computer. I'm going to have to clean my computer. I had to do that several times yesterday. Let me re pull this article up again. Here we go. Here we go. Here is the threat that was given to the Pope by uh, a Hegseth hack. Uh, Let me give it to you right here. Okay, one Pentagon official. All of these links will be in my description box. Uh, Avignon papacy explain what reported U.S. threat to Pope and Vatican means. So they reminded the representative from Rome about the Avignon papacy, the era in the Pope's history. This is what Pete Kegbreath, the uh, official, told the representative from the Vatican. One Pentagon official reported referencing of an Avignon papacy had widely been interpreted as a, Lord have mercy, as a had widely been interpreted as a direct threat by Donald Trump's administration against the Vatican and Pope Leo, who has been critical of the U.S. president Iran war. On Wednesday, Vice President J.D. Vance said he would look into the reports that senior Pentagon official lectured the Vatican ambassador, leading to the cancellation of the planned visit by Pope Leo. Now, I would be remiss if Vance is out here touting his religion and how he's a Christian and how he wished his wife would be a Christian and all of this. But at the same time, J.D. Vance, who was against the war, and they actually have recordings of them talking about going to war with Israel. Now, your president, you remember right before the war, there was a visit to the White House by Benjamin Netanyahu. Yes, there was, right before the war happened. And do you know that your president took Benjamin Netanyahu, something that is unprecedented? You know, kind of like the thing where it was unprecedented that your president had Vladimir Putin sitting in the presidential car. You know, that unprecedented thing. Well, guess what unprecedented thing that your president did the last time Netanyahu came? He took Netanyahu inside the Situation Room, where, you know, the Situation Room, that is a skiff that they discuss things that are happening in the war, so no one else can hear about it. This is your president took Netanyahu into the Situation Room to discuss attacking Iran. Now, while telling you and presenting to you that he had his unqualified builder friend and his unqualified son-in-law working on some negotiations. Now he is in a skiff in the Situation Room with Vladimir Putin. I mean, with Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, reports came out that J.D. Vance. Now it is. Uh, it, Now that leaked. That story leaked. So it is when he started talking to his administration about what him and Netanyahu were thinking. He was asking for opinions from different people in his administration. Now, J.D. Vance said he didn't think it would be a good idea. However, he would support the president in whatever he decided. Now, we also know that we everybody's talking about the 25th Amendment. What would you get if you choose the 25th Amendment? You would get J.D. Vance as the president. J.D. Vance, who knew the war was wrong and said he would support Trump if he did it. J.D. Vance, who takes a forward face and tell you, the American people, why it is good that we are fighting a war that he don't even believe in. That's why we need to get rid of all of these people. J.D. Vance, who talks about his Christianity to compel all of these young, empty minds at Turning Point USA that Christianity in Christ is the best thing that happened to his life. But when Pete Breath threatens the actual Pope, he professes to be a Catholic. And when Pete Breath actually threatens the Pope, he acts as if he don't even know who the man is that Breath threatened. He acts as if I don't know that guy. You say he threatened somebody. I don't know that guy, and I don't know if that really happened. When he absolutely does know that guy, because he met that guy when he went to when he went to Rome and met the Pope that died the day after meeting Vance. So he absolutely knows that guy. So this is who we would get if we do the 25th Amendment on Donald Trump. We get J.D. Vance, who will not even stand up for his own proclaimed religion, as he is trying to teach religion to these young, empty minds, white minds in America. You won't have to be ashamed to be white. And my religion is the best thing that happened to me. This is J.D. Vance at Turning Point USA. I said all of that to say this. We're talking about, what was the threat, RonyiQ? I thought you was getting to the threat. Let's get to the threat. Okay. The reference to the Vatican papacy might be obscure for many, but would have been immediately understood by the Roman Catholic Church leaders as a not-so-veiled warning that tensions between the Holy See and the White House might be nearing a breaking point for the Trump administration. What is the Vatican papacy? Between 1309, between 1309 and 1377, 7 different popes resided in Avignon in southern France, though it was not a part of the French kingdom then, instead of Rome. What happened? The transfer has been strongly supported by King Philip of of France. I think that's the 15th. I don't know. What is IV? King Philip of France, who had previously clashed with the Pope, the leader of the Roman Catholic Church from 1294 to 1303, over his ability to tax the clergy without the pontiff's permission. This was against canon law. Clashes between the two continued for years over similar issues, challenging the Pope and the King's respective authorities until Boniface's death. After the brief papacy of Benedict in 1304, Clement, a French Pope, was elected through the Negeotations of Philip. He spent his first few years undergoing a Boniface legacy to appease the French monarch. In 1309, he selected Avignon as his residency to avoid political turmoil in Italy. The move was supposed to be temporary, but it lasted for 68 years. The end of the Avignon papacy led to the so-called Great Western Schism in 1378, when, following the death of Gregory, a French pope who had decided to return to Rome, a series of a series of anti-popes assumed the Vatican seat for Avignon. The schism was only heralded in 1417. Where is the what, what is the whole point of this? The Freepoint recently reported a closed-door Pentagon meeting in January, during which a Trump senior official referenced the Avignon papacy to the Vatican's official as the conversation between the two parties got heated. In this reporting, Martina Fariletti calls the meeting at the Pentagon, for which there is no public record, the culmination of months of brewing tensions between Donald Trump and Pope Leo. Undersecretary of War for Policy Elbridge Colby reportedly summons Cardinal Christopher Pierre, Pope Leo's then ambassador to the U.S., to the Pentagon after the Pope's January State of the World address, which was interpreted as hostile to the Trump administration. In a line that particularly enraged officials, reportedly was one saying that a diplomacy that promotes dialogue and seeks consensus among all parties is being replaced by a diplomacy based on force. According to Ferrazzi and the Vatican expert Christopher Hale, this statement was taken as a criticism of Trump Monroe Doctrine, his update of the Monroe Doctrine, which supports U.S. dominance on the Western Hemisphere backed by military force. As things got heated, Colby reportedly lectured Cardinal Pierre on the military powers of the U.S. and told him that the Catholic Church must pick a side, according to Hale, and mentioned the Avignon papacy. All information about the meeting was obtained by Pierre from the Vatican and U.S. officials briefing on the Pentagon meeting. What could such a reference indicate? This is what I'm trying to get to. There is no doubt that the reference to the Avignon papacy by the Pentagon official was meant to make the Vatican feel uneasy about crossing the Trump administration. Some have suggested that the reference of this chapter of medieval history might signal the Trump administration's intention to trigger a new schism, while others think it would suggest its willingness to use military force against the Holy See. Ferrari, however, said that interpreting it as a military threat is just absurd. According to Mike Young, the author of the newsletter on civic accountability, the mention of the Avignon papacy was reference to a implicit model for what happens to religious institutions that oppose state power. In a post on X, that's not a slip of the tongue. That's a steady historical reference deployed deliberately in a room with the Pope's senior diplomat. The message was not subtle. The Department of Defense has downplayed reporting of the meeting altogether. The meeting between Pentagon and Vatican officials was a respectful and reasonable discussion, a spokesperson told Newsweek. Of course they think that is respectable and reasonable to bomb a girls' school in Iran. They think that it's respectable and reasonable to be over in Iran having a war and trying to not call it a war in the first place, when Iran did nothing to for us to be over there fighting them in a war. So who cares what the Defense Department think is reasonable, respectful, and reasonable? Speaking in Hungary about the reported meeting at the Pentagon, J.D. Vance, who is Catholic. Now, I'm going to show you what J.D. Vance said. Let me see. Hold on. How has the Holy See responded. Tensions between the Holy See and a Trump administration have continued since January, with Pope Leo repeatedly making anti-war speeches that many have interpreted as targeted at the U.S. president. More concern. What is it? Concertedly, Ferrari suggests that the meeting in January led to the Pope refusing to visit the U.S. as part of the nation's 250th anniversary celebrations. According to the Free Press, the Vatican did initially entertain the idea, but postponed the visit indefinitely because of the foreign policy disagreements. So I'm gonna drop that here. So that is the big brouhaha that is going on between the Pentagon, and the Pentagon is refusing to even have Catholic services at the Pentagon, where everyone pay their taxes and all military personnel put their lives, well, not all, but where military personnel who put their lives on the line, who may want to have a service on a Good Friday, as they traditionally do, have not been allowed to celebrate in their own religion. Uh, we got that. Is anybody here? Hey, Jill's Comfort Zone. Hey, Foot Soldier. So those links are in my description box. Let me show you what JD Vance said when asked about this perceived threat to the Pope. I will show you what JD Vance had to say about this in his own words. A, a, uh, suspected Catholic, by his own words. What did he have to say about this alleged threat to the Pope from the Department of Defense? Let's find out.
Press story saying that senior Pentagon officials in January, including Rich Colby, brought Cardinal Pierre into the Pentagon.
Brought who?
Cardinal Christophe Pierre into the Pentagon.
I haven't seen this story, unfortunately.
And essentially, they're reporting by the Free Press.
Okay, you notice he brought who? Brought who? And then she said uh, uh, Pierre. He said, I haven't seen this story. She haven't even told you what the story was. Let's go back. Notice how he tells her he haven't seen the story before she's able to ask him the question about said story she's asking a question about. She says Pierre, and who? I haven't seen this story. Let's go back. Let's go back.
Couple days with the Free Press story saying that senior Pentagon officials in January, including Rich Colby, brought Cardinal Pierre into the Pentagon.
Brought who?
Cardinal Christophe Pierre into the Pentagon.
I haven't seen this story, unfortunately.
And essentially, the reporting by the Free Press is that they told him that the American military has a lot of might and they can do whatever they want, and the church should get on its side. Does that message sound correct to you? Is that something you would sign off on?
So one, I with no disrespect to the Cardinal, I don't know who Cardinal Christophe Pierre is.
He's the ambassador to the Holy See and the...
He doesn't know who Christophe Pierre is. He's the man you met before you took your devilish ass up to the Vatican and mysteriously the last Pope died. You met him then. You know who he is. You know damn well you know who he is. So this is who would be replacing Trump if the Article 25 go through. This is why I personally say that we should not be reaching for Article 25 to get rid of Trump. I believe that this whole administration should be done away with Article with Article 2 of the executive branch. Section 4. The president, vice president, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors. That is who I believe should all of them.
Okay. I've met him before. Sorry, I just didn't remember the name. I've never seen this reporting. I'd like to actually talk to Cardinal Christophe Pierre and, frankly, to our people to figure out what actually happened. I think it's always a bad idea to.
Is that something you would sign off on?
So one, with no disrespect to the Cardinal, I don't know who Cardinal Christophe Pierre is.
Yeah, ambassador to the Holy See and the U.S.
Oh, okay. I do. I've met him before. Sorry, I just.
I don't know who he is. I know who he is. Of course we already knew you knew who he was. So what do you have to say about it?
Didn't remember the name. I've never seen this reporting. I'd like to actually talk to Cardinal Christophe Pierre and, frankly, to our people to figure out what actually happened. I think it's always a bad idea to offer an opinion on stories that are unconfirmed and uncorroborated, so I'm not going to do that.
I mean,
So I haven't seen the story. I need to talk to these people. It's always bad to say something about something that is unconfirmed, and you do that all the time. You do that all the time. You were talking about Iranian having bringing dirty bombs into the USA. You are talking about unconfirmed shit all the time. This is the same person who told you that you don't want Iran to come up with a dirty bomb, insinuating that they have bomb making material. You haven't heard you or seen any facts to that matter. But you're talking about bringing dirty bombs into the United States. But now all of a sudden, when it's about your personal religion that you hold so tight to your heart and that changed your life and means so much to you. I haven't been told what I am able to say about that since the Pentagon has got involved in the preachings and teachings of the fucking Pope of my religion. Excuse me, I shouldn't have said fucking Pope. About the Pope in the religion that I practice, the highest person in the religion that I practice. What a fucking fool this man is. So this is why Article 2, Section 4 should be used to get all of these people out of office, in my opinion. Uh, Tom V. Hey, good luck with that train of thought. Good luck with that train of thought. Okay, so let's continue. Let's do some more on J.D. Vance. Since we are going to talk about religion, J.D. Vance and the Pope versus Pete Kegbreath and the religion that he is showcasing at the Pentagon. Shall we? Let's let me remind you of the religion that Pete Kegbreath is showcasing at the Pentagon. Since we're here. Now, where was J.D. Vance coming from? J.D. Vance was coming from Hungary. J.D. Vance is trying to prop up the current president of Hungary, who is about, it seems, he's about to lose the election. And J.D. Vance went over to Hungary to campaign. Now, isn't that a campaign interference? So J.D. Vance went over there to support Viktor Orban, who it appears is about to lose his election. So J.D. Vance is over there campaigning. That's why J.D. Vance, they caught him at the airport with this story about the Vatican. So let's get into this, shall we? Usha Vance is pregnant with her fourth child. If you didn't know, you can tell by this picture and what he says about it.
If the vice president of a foreign country had flown to the United States just days before an election to rally support for a candidate, it would be widely seen as unacceptable foreign interference. Yet Donald Trump has sent his deputy to Budapest in a last-ditch effort to save the MAGA-friendly Prime Minister of Hungary.
I'm here because of the moral cooperation between our two countries, because what the United States and Hungary together represent under Viktor's leadership and under President Trump's leadership is the defense of Western civilization.
J.D. Vance lavished praise on Viktor Orban and suggested it's not Washington meddling in Hungarian affairs, but the rest of Europe.
The bureaucrats in Brussels have tried to destroy the economy of Hungary. They have tried to make Hungary less energy independent. They have tried to drive up costs for Hungarian consumers, and they've done it all because they hate this guy.
It is true most European leaders are frustrated with Mr. Orban, who is close with Vladimir Putin. He constantly blocks EU support for Ukraine, and Hungary still imports Russian oil and gas. The Prime Minister hoping this show of support from the United States will convince voters to give him another chance.
Trump elnök úr megválasztásával egy aranykort köszöntött be kapcsolatainkban.
But it may be too little, too late. Mr. Orban has led Hungary since 2010, consolidating power and reshaping the country. His critics suggest his government has become increasingly authoritarian and corrupt, and polls indicate there's a mood for change.
Változást, nagyon. A Tiszára szavazok egyértelműen, muszáj rendszert váltanunk, úgyhogy igen.
Azért, mert hogy ez a mostani kormány megdőljön, és egy élhető Magyarországot szeretnék. Csak ennyi.
Peter Magyar, a former Orban ally, and his centre-right TISA party are tipped to win Sunday's election. Most political analysts doubt this highly unusual American intervention will have a major impact.
Mr. President, you are on with about 5,000 Hungarian patriots, and I think they love you even more than they love Viktor Orban.
Well, I can't believe that. I can't believe that because I love Hungary and I love that Viktor.
He might, but an increasing number of Hungarians don't, and they'll be the ones who determine if Mr. Orban's time is up. If the vice president of a foreign country had...
So there you have it. Your vice president is over there pumping up an oligarch, a fascist that the people don't want. It is expected that the candidate that is running against him will win by a high percentage point. But you have J.D. Vance over there acting like he's the sweetest thing since honey, while downing and trying to embarrass our alleged allies. Now, it is now we know that on yesterday, there was a representative from the EU who came to the White House. And, Trump is talking about ending our relationship. There was a representative from NATO that came to the White House. Now, President Trump was all bitching and moaning about the United States is going to leave NATO and this reason, and the NATO nations didn't support the U.S. in this illegal war. They're calling it war all the time, except when you say, how come you didn't go to Congress to get a approval for said war? They call it a war all the time until you ask that question. Well, it's really not a war. It's just tactical attacks and all of this bullshit that they want to call it. So this is an illegal war. Understand? They tell you that it's a war. So because he didn't consult anyone but Benjamin Netanyahu about this war, he wants to leave NATO. A bunch of idiots. A bunch of idiots. Oh, so what do you have to say now that your future president is over there hobnobbing with a fascist, Viktor Orban, and your Viktor Orban is Vladimir Putin's do boy. Shit, I guess Donald Trump and Viktor Orban is fighting for position under Vladimir Putin's shoes. Okay, so let's see what else JD Vance has been up to. Since we're talking about JD Vance, let's run the gamut on JD Vance and how he was speaking poorly about our allies, shall we? Over in Hungary with Viktor Orban downing our ally.
US Vice President JD Vance has just accused the EU of election interference here in Hungary.
What has happened?
He is accusing the EU of election interference in Hungary as he is physically in Hungary propping up a fascist. Make that make sense. But let's continue.
In the midst of this election campaign is one of the worst examples of foreign election interference that I've ever seen or ever even read about. The bureaucrats in Brussels have tried to destroy the economy of Hungary, and they've done it all because they hate this guy.
At a joint press conference that he held together with Prime Minister Viktor Orban here at the Carmelite Monastery, Vance made very clear who he wants to see in power here in Hungary after April 12th. After the election that will be one of the hardest, if not the hardest, that Viktor Orban has ever faced. The primary topic of this visit was to boost Viktor Orban, to back him, to show support ahead of these elections. They talked about...
But that's not election interference by a foreign power. Make any of this make sense. But idiots thinks that this person is going to be the good candidate to replace 45-47.
About a range of issues from the energy cooperation between the two countries, the war in Ukraine, where Viktor Orban claims he is one of the few leaders next to Donald Trump who is actually pushing for peace. And JD Vance was very critical of the EU here, claiming that the EU was the one hindering peace, the peace in Ukraine that Trump and Orban would make possible, but that Brussels does not want. The two also talked about their moral connection, so the ideological baseline and foundation that they share. And they said this was about migration, about family, about supposed gender ideology, and about global security. If you look at the polls, it seems more and more Hungarians are tired of the type of right-wing conservative populism that Orban stands for, and he'll have a very hard time to turn these polls around ahead of the election April 12th, next Sunday. US Vice President JD Vance has just accused the EU of election interference here in Hungary.
What has happened in the midst of this election campaign?
Okay, those links are in my description box under Vance. Now, I just see that there is an update that the Pope has possibly turned the tables on Trump after death threats. So let's go and check this out and see what this story is about, shall we? Shall we? But there's something else. Now we're gonna see the comments that Mark Rutte gives. He is the NATO representative that met with Trump on yesterday. We will see what his remarks are. Let me share the Pope's alleged get back at Trump. I haven't heard this story. You guys are getting it, hearing it at the same time as I am. Let me share this story with you. This comes from the Midas Touch. If you're not subscribed to the Midas Touch, I don't know why you aren't. I have told you years ago that the Marcellus brothers do great reporting. They report all day long. Ben Marcellus is a practicing attorney as well. I think one of his other brothers, Jordy, if I'm not mistaken, Jordy is also an attorney as well. So let's get into furious Pope turns table on Trump after death threat. That's a question mark and three exclamation points. So let's see.
Is absolutely furious at Donald Trump, and the Pope Leo XIV is absolutely furious at Donald Trump and the Trump regime and their behavior. As we previously reported, Pope Leo has called off all visits essentially to the United States on the 250th United States anniversary. July 4th, Pope Leo made a point that he will be in Lampedusa in Italy, spending his time showing compassion for the migrant community there. And we're learning some additional details as Pope Leo XIV has been calling out Donald Trump and his despicable regime's imperialist and tactics of saying we're going to obliterate civilizations and everything is going to war. We're going to obliterate you and destroy everything. Pope Leo XIV has been calling that out, and J.D. Vance, who converted to Catholicism, and Pete Hegseth, who invokes God all the time. Pope Leo XIV has been pretty much directing messages without necessarily saying their names, but it's clear he's calling them out. And so what the Trump regime tried to do, and this was a tactic that Hitler did with the bishops right before Hitler engaged, in the Holocaust or right around that time, is to threaten Pope Leo XIV and to threaten the Holy See with the United States military. And essentially the same way the Trump regime was threatening to invade Greenland, right behind the scenes, what we're learning today is that the United States was making threats that suggested that they would use military force against the Holy See, against the Vatican, against Pope Leo XIV. And they summoned Pope Leo XIV's like, Ben, what are you talking about? Yes, they summoned Pope Leo XIV's top American diplomat to the Pentagon, which now calls itself unlawfully the Department of War. The Undersecretary of War, Elbridge Colby, invoked the Avignon papacy, the period when the French crown used military force to bend the Bishop of Rome to its will. And they said that we have the power. This is what the Trump regime said to Pope Leo XIV's top diplomat in the United States, that we have the military power to do whatever we want, whatever.
Okay, yeah, I've already reported that. Let's see what's the get back.
We want, we will do in the world. And Pope Leo XIV, he needs to know that. So the Catholic Church has better take sides, and they better take the right side. Now, this meeting that took place that I just referenced was in January, and it followed Pope Leo XIV's speech, which was kind of a state of the world speech that he gives. And as Christopher Hale writes, in the speech that enraged Pete Hegseth and top Pentagon officials, Pope Leo XIV said, a diplomacy that promotes dialogue and seeks consensus among all parties is being replaced by a diplomacy based on force. War is...
Okay, I showed you a clip of that.
Back in vogue, and a zeal for war is spreading. The principle established after the Second World War, which prohibited nations from using force to violate the borders of others, has been completely undermined. And since Pope Leo XIV essentially had his life threatened and the life of the cardinals and bishops and others in the Holy See threatened by the Trump regime, Pope Leo XIV has not backed down at all. During this unlawful and catastrophic war in Iran, where at the end Donald Trump completely folded, Pope Leo XIV directed this message to Pete Hegseth. Jesus is the King of Peace who rejects war, whom no one can use to justify war. He does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war, but rejects them. Even though you make many prayers, God will not listen. Your hands are full of blood. In other words, Pete Hegseth, stop invoking the name of God and Jesus in your war crimes because they are not listening. Also, Pope...
And we know on yesterday, as we played that update or press conference that Hegseth did, that is exactly what he did and what he always does. Praying for victory over our enemies and over our adversaries and all of this bullshit that he does under the guise of Christianity. We know that is all bullshit. And this is bullshit that they are feeding to young white males and our troops.
Leo XIV is saying that the type of thinking of Hegseth and J.D. Vance is entirely foreign to the way of Jesus Christ. The Pope argues that Christianity...
Now, you notice that the Pope did include J.D. Vance? You notice that the Pope noticed a snake when he sees one? But unfortunately, you guys, some people think that it would be okay to to call the 25th Amendment on Trump and be left with another snake. A snake that is financed by a bigger snake, Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, who financed every aspect of J.D. Vance's political rise. Financed by Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, who says, when asked, do you think that civilization should survive? He had a hard time answering that question. A long pause in asking if civilization should survive. And when he finally did answer that question, he said that civilization should survive as long as it is integrated with some type of computing or some computer chip is inserted into the future civilization. That's what Peter Thiel said. Peter Thiel also said that democracy doesn't work, that you have to get around democracy. You have to buy out democracy, in other words, because the new ideas are going to be hard to sell on people. So therefore, you have to get rid of democracy. Not the new ideas. You got to get rid of democracy. And this is who has financed J.D. Vance, and is who is J.D. Vance is in Peter Thiel's pocket. You know, the weird thing about this is, you know, if we continue on with letting these tech billionaires run the show, pretty soon everything we do is going to be watched. Can you imagine a J.D. Vance getting into the White House? Palantir will have a digital wallet on every person in the United States. We will be definitely thrust into this social credit score that they use over in China, where they can lock up your money, your digital wallet, based upon any type of post that you post on social media, any type of a product that you buy, any type of comment that you make on social media, something that you write in a direct messages. I could see Peter Thiel and Palantir being in control of your digital wallet. What happens when they are in control of your digital wallet? They can restrict your movement in the United States. They cannot allow you to buy train tickets, bus tickets, airplane tickets. They can restrict you to a 4-block radius of your home, because you will not be able to enter, you will not be able to purchase, you will not be allowed, based upon all of the security cameras, which will be able to identify you with facial recognition, and you will be either arrested or denied access. So let's be real clear on what it would be to have a J.D. Vance for president. Now, these are all things that Peter Thiel is in support of. The reason why they did not want Anthropic, why Pete Kegbreath wanted to name Anthropic, something that the Pentagon is using. He wanted to name them as a poor supply source that other companies should not use, is because the CEO of Anthropic said that they would not allow the Pentagon to mass survey American citizens. That is one of the things. And Anthropic said that they would not allow the Pentagon to use autonomous strikes with their AI, which means that they would be able to say, oh, well, you know, a human being didn't make that shot. AI did it. It's AI's fault. They identified the threat in AI without a human touching to see and the CEO of Anthropic said, yeah, AI can do what AI do, but it's going to have to go through a human before we cause any harm to something. So Pete Kegbreath thought that was unacceptable. Pete Kegbreath think that it is unacceptable for AI to be mass monitoring U.S. citizens. So can you imagine if Palantir get in there? And now I showed you clips of Steve Karp, the CEO of Palantir, who talks about all of the mass surveillance that they do in Palantir, as if it's a selling point. You have heard Peter Karp sit up there and say that they and sometimes we kill people and laugh and giggle like it's cute, and but hey, you can't put a finger on it, and we watch people, and sometimes we kill people. Can you imagine if JD Vance is president? Now, what I find awful spectacular about this, if you listen at Peter Thiel speak, and if you listen at Elon Musk speak, ask questions, or question, or to try to answer questions, I find it is striking that if America was mass surveilled. We know that Elon Musk is not fond of black people. We know that Elon Musk's greatest time was growing up in apartheid South Africa. He loved apartheid South Africa. So can you imagine if you were mass surveilled by the likes of Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, how many black people would lose their digital wallet for indulging in activities that are far less damaging than Peter Thiel and Elon Musk? I mean, Elon Musk is a admitted ketamine user. Can you imagine somebody who go over and cop a bag of weed, a black person that cops a bag of weed? Can you imagine the mass surveillance and the denials and the social ramifications it would be on a non-white person indulging in drugs? Did they drug test any of those Doge people that went through the government? And one of the Doge person said that they didn't realize that the government really had it, really was on top of things, and they were really doing things efficiently and right. And while others said that they didn't know what DEI meant, and anything that said homosexual, black, or gay, they were stripping these departments. Were any of these people drug tested? So can you imagine a United States under the heel of JD Vance, who is such a bitch that he will not even stand up to Pete Kegbreath about his own religion being ostracized and threatened? What will he do for the American people? Okay. I'm going to drop this link in the description box because I want to move on. This is something that just popped up, and I'm going to drop it right here. I'm going to drop that Midas Touch link right here. I think someone wants the straits closed so the world will have to get energy resource from the U.S. The U.S. doesn't even have enough energy resources to supply the U.S. with energy. Please, a lot of the states near Canada is getting their energy from Canada. No, we don't have enough resources, and we have not upgraded our energy resources to even supply enough energy for America. No, that ain't gonna happen. So let me why am I saying all of this? Let me get into why I am talking about not being able to stand up to for your own religion. There are some things that this fight against about religion that Kegbreath wants to have with the Catholic Church. I find it interesting because let's see.
All right, so look, it took.
Let's see what religion Kegbreath is introducing to our military. Let's see what religion Kegbreath is following. Can we look at that real quick? Let's see. Where is it? Oh, maybe it's here. Hold on. Yes, let me share this with you right quick. Since we want to bring religion into everything, let's see what type of religion Pete Kegbreath and these white nationalists or Christian nationalists under the guise of Christianity are bringing to America.
The town be a Christian town. Like to see the state be a Christian state. Like to see the nation be a Christian nation. I like to see the world be a Christian world.
Christchurch senior pastor Doug Wilson's controversial views as a Christian nationalist are gaining sway in the nation's center of power with the recent opening of his new church and high-profile parishioners like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Is planting a church in D.C. part of your mission to try to turn this into a Christian nation?
Yes. So every society is theocratic. The only question is who's Theo. In a secular democracy, it would be demos, the people. In a Christian republic, it'd be Christ.
What would you say to someone watching this and say, look, I'm a Muslim. Who are you to say your worldview is better than mine, that your God is better than mine?
Well, if I went to Saudi Arabia, I would fully expect to live under their God's rules.
But you said earlier that you want this to be a Christian world.
Yes.
So you want to supplant their religion with your Christian.
Yes, by peaceful means, by sharing the gospel. There's a lot of work yet to do. I believe that we are working our little corner of the vineyard.
Wilson's Little Corner, a picturesque campus nestled on the outskirts of downtown Moscow, Idaho, is growing by the day with thousands of like-minded Christians. Parishioners of his church, known as Kirkers, own and operate several businesses downtown next to liberal college town stores.
If it's true.
Why did he yell boo? Because
of me.
Because of you.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's a regular day for you.
That's not unusual.
Wilson is part of a broader Christian nationalist movement making inroads with the Trump administration, with a newly created faith office led by evangelical pastor Paula White Cain, and people seen right outside the White House entrance praying and speaking in tongues.
We are standing on the soil of the White House, and we are declaring your word.
How precious.
And now there's a monthly prayer service at the Pentagon, initiated by Hegseth, Wilson's highest level connection to the administration.
It's not organizationally tied to us, but it's the kind of thing we love to see.
For his part, Hegseth has publicly praised Wilson.
Now we're standing on the shoulders of a generation later, the Doug Wilsons and the others.
Wilson maintains all are welcome to his church, but he thinks homosexuality is a crime.
In the late 70s and early 80s, sodomy was a felony in all 50 states. That America of that day was not a totalitarian hellhole.
So you would like America to go back to that?
Yep.
Wilson maintains his ultimate goal is to bring about the second coming of Christ through his work and rejects critics' claims he's trying to...
And we would be remiss if we did not tell you that many people have reported their officers giving them these type of orders, saying that you are going and you are doing God's will and you are fulfilling the prophecy of the Bible as they send them out on their military missions in the United States military. These military people in Iran have been reporting it to the reporting agency that this is going on, and they are getting these messages from their commanders in your United States military as they fight this war in Iran.
To make the dystopian world of The Handmaid's Tale a reality.
I'm not a white nationalist. I'm not a fascist. I'm not a racist. I'm not a misogynist. I'd like to see the town be a Christian town. I'd like to see the state be a Christian state. I'd like to see the nation be a Christian nation. I'd like to see.
Let me share some more with you on that. Since we are here, let's be real clear that J.D. Vance would not defend his own religion against Pete Kegbreath, and this is who Pete Kegbreath is following. Let's be real clear.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth belongs to an arch-conservative church network. Here's what you need to know. Hegseth says he's proud to be a part of the Communion of Reformed Evangelical Churches. He recently made headlines when he shared a CNN video on social media about CREC, which showed its pastors arguing women shouldn't have the right to vote.
He didn't just repost it like, oh, here's an interesting thing that these weird people are doing. He was, in effect, reposting it and saying amen at some level.
CREC ascribes to a strict version of Reformed theology, which puts...
He didn't just repost the argument about women not being able to have the right to vote. He reposted it as in if he was saying amen. Who is the he's speaking of? He's speaking of Pete Kegbreath. Reposted a discussion about women not having the right to vote. And you see that same pastor said that he was saying it as an amen. Now we know that same pastor who I just showed you, who just said that Pete Kegbreath was amening that the fact that women shouldn't have the right to vote, that pastor preaches that women should not have the right to vote.
Emphasis on an all-powerful God who has dominion over all of society. So what does this church say about women? The church practices complementarianism, the patriarchal idea that men and women have different God-given roles. Women within CREC churches can't hold church leadership positions, and married women are supposed to submit to their husbands. Hegseth's view on women has been in the spotlight, especially after he faced sexual assault allegations for which no charges were filed. Before his nomination to lead the Defense Department, Hegseth had questioned women serving in combat roles in the military. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth belongs to an arch-conservative church network.
Okay. I have one more to let you know. They want Article 25 enacted on J.D. Vance, and J.D. Vance won't even stand up to Pete Kegbreath and his fake Christian religion, as Pete Kegbreath threatens the Pontins of Vance's own religion. Let me share this with you. Here we go. We need to be real clear on who these people are. In power, the top of power. They are over there in a Muslim nation. We are not going to forget your Pete Kegbreath was questioned in his confirmation hearing about the reports that he was so drunk and he screamed in a bar, "Kill all Muslims." We are not going to forget that this man, his preacher, his spiritual advisor, said that he wants the whole world to be Christian. Okay, let that sink in. What else he's saying?
We are praying in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, and he does deserve it. With his blood, he purchased all the nations of men. And Father, this includes our nation.
So that's Pastor Doug Wilson from Christ Church in Moscow, Idaho, leading a prayer service at the Pentagon. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is a member of Wilson's conservative Christian.
Where is he? Where is he? But Catholics, J.D. Vance's religion, cannot hold a service on Good Friday, on Passover, for Passover. They can't have a Catholic service in the Pentagon. But your defense secretary has this man praying over your military. In the same place where J.D. Vance religion cannot be practiced. Now, are these American values? Are these American values? Let's continue. Just in case you didn't know, you want a bitch in the White House? No, they all need to be thrown out. They all need to be thrown out.
Christian church network called the CREC.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this service, these people, this auditorium, this pastor, our great nation.
Now, these prayer services at the Pentagon are voluntary events. There have been several speakers, and Secretary Hegseth introduced them last summer. Now, critics say Pastor Wilson's appearance is part of a broader effort by this administration to erode the separation of church and state. That is something Pastor Wilson denies. You might remember Pastor Wilson from an interview that he gave me last year.
What role do you think women play in society?
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
Secretary Hegseth reposted that story I did on X with the caption, "All of Christ for all of life." Now, when it comes to the military, Pastor Wilson has some controversial views. He has said that he does not believe that women should be in combat roles. A source who attended the prayer service with him said that he kept his message pretty vanilla and didn't get into any political rhetoric.
We are praying in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, and he does deserve it.
Okay, so I'm giving you that information. There, let me see. I think there may be something else I want to share with you, video-wise. Let me double check before I move on. A foot soldier, I really hope your family is doing well during all of this stuff that is going on. I really hope your family is doing well. What is this? What is this? Oh, okay. Now we know, we already know that the ceasefire was, even on yesterday, during the, I was showing you Keg Breath press conference and Caroline Leavitt press conference. We know that I showed you that Lebanon was absolutely included in the 10-point agreement that your president entered into. And when Caroline Leavitt was asked about why was it, now, if you are unaware, yesterday, Lebanon was supposed to be a part of the 10-point agreement of ceasefire. Now, Caroline Leavitt went out in front of the press and said that Lebanon was never a part of the agreement. So I wanted to show you that your government is still lying to you, because right after the ceasefire agreement was announced, Israel in 10 minutes struck over 100 missiles into Lebanon, killing, it is reported, over 250 people lost their lives and thousands were injured in a 10-minute span. So, your government is negotiating a ceasefire agreement in a war that Benjamin Netanyahu told him to come and strike, and your dumb president came into a war without even going to Congress, just on the word of Benjamin Netanyahu. And then when they reach a ceasefire agreement, who fucks up the ceasefire agreement but Benjamin Netanyahu? We saw the post that Benjamin Netanyahu said that he was glad about the peace agreement, but Lebanon was not included in the peace agreement, and he would not respect the Lebanon part of the peace agreement. Let me see. Let me see if I still have it. Let me see if I do. Here we have it. Of the breaking of the peace agreement. Just today, Netanyahu launches his harshest attacks against Lebanon since the offense began. Now, not only did he just strike Lebanon, he struck Lebanon worse than he has ever struck Lebanon on to fuck up the peace agreement. He struck them worse than he has ever struck them, as he has already killed many of them, tore down houses, have over 1.5 million people as refugees from Lebanon, blown up bridges and all of this. And when there is a peace agreement between America and Iran, he strikes Lebanon harder than he has ever struck them in the war. So what does that tell America? As Caroline Levitt comes out there and lie to you and say that not striking Lebanon wasn't a part of the agreement that we made. Your government is lying to you. Your government has let Benjamin Netanyahu break the peace agreement, and now they're trying to rewrite the peace agreement and tell you that Lebanon was not part of the peace agreement when it actually absolutely was. Okay, just today, his contempt for life and international law is intolerable. It's time to speak clearly. This is Pedro Sanchez. I think he is the president of Spain, I believe. Pedro Sanchez. His contempt for life and international law is intolerable. It's time to speak clearly. Lebanon must be included in the ceasefire. The international community must condemn this new violation of international law. The European Union must suspend the association agreement with Israel, and there must be no impunity for these criminal acts. That is, I do believe he's from Spain. Let me see. Pedro Sanchez. Let me Pedro's Prime Minister of Spain. That's who he is. He is the Prime Minister of Spain. That is his remarks after those Lebanon attacks. Let me give you some more information. How Caroline Levitt came out there and lied to you. I believe. Let me see. Which one is this one? Okay, this is the one that I wanted. The Iran-U.S. ceasefire terms are clear and explicit. The U.S. must choose ceasefire or continue war via Israel. It cannot have both. The world sees the massacres in Lebanon. The ball is in the U.S. court, and the world is watching whether it will act on its own commitments. Okay, who wrote that? Let me show you where that came from. That came from the Pakistanians who brokered the deal. Pakistan came out and said that the U.S. knows goddamn well that Lebanon was included in the deal. Shabazz Sharif, who is from Lebanon, who your president mentioned was the one who help negotiate the deal. That's why J.D. Vance is out here trying to put lipstick on a pig. Hush, piggy. Your president is out here lying and telling you, no, Lebanon never was part of the deal. This is from the people that your president noted helped broker the deal. What does he have to say? With the greatest with the greatest humility, I am humility. With the greatest humility, I am pleased to announce that the Islamic Republic of Iran and the United States of America, along with their allies, have agreed to an immediate ceasefire everywhere, including Lebanon and elsewhere, effective immediately. I warmly welcome the sagacious Sagaris, I don't know what that is, Sagaris gesture, and extend deepest gratitude to the leadership of both of the countries and invite their delegations to Islamabad on Friday, the 10th of April. Now, what about this makes it true? President Trump said, "Oh, now J.D. Vance. You know what J.D. Vance said? Who y'all want to take over? Y'all want to file the 25th Amendment on the president, and then the presidency will be his. You know what he said about this person who negotiated this deal? He said, oh, there must have been some misunderstanding because Lebanon wasn't included in the deal. You know, I think he doesn't speak English well." That's what J.D. Vance said. He said that this person from Pakistan who was negotiating the deal, you know, your president said that there are new leaders that he is talking to, but he cannot tell you any person that he is talking to from Iran. He said that there has been a change in leadership in Iran, but he has to negotiate via Pakistani person. And then when they fucking let Benjamin Netanyahu blow up the deal and continue to strike Lebanon when Lebanon was absolutely in the deal, your vice president came out and said that this Pakistani person must not speak English well. Hillbilly from West Virginia is talking about someone who speaks multiple languages. He probably speaks more than English and Pakistani. But you got a motherfucker from the hills of West Virginia questioning the acuteness of someone to speak and understand English as they're negotiating a peace deal on an illegal war. Isn't that grand? Isn't that grand that J.D. Vance would have the audacity to question if this man spoke and understood English well? And I wonder how many languages J.D. Vance speaks. I really wonder. See, the arrogance of American people. You gotta speak English. You must speak English. You gotta speak English. Why? Because English is the only language that ignorant Americans know. When people all across the country, some of them speak 3 to 5 English languages fluently. But you think you saying something to somebody about how they do or don't speak English well? They speak several languages? Oh my God. The arrogance of ignorance. This is what J.D. Vance said. Okay, my point is, here's my point. Okay, they are inviting them to Istanbul on Friday, the 10th of April of 2026. Why is that important in this message? We know that 4547 is sending his envoy to hash out and to go to Istanbul to continue these negotiations and to hammer out these negotiations. Who is he sending? He's sending none other than J.D. Vance is going to be the head of the people who are going to Istanbul on the 10th to hammer out this agreement that your president agreed to. And if this was not true, why would the invite be in this announcement and the offer that you can come to Istanbul? This announcement, and they have accepted this invitation after it was made in this announcement. That's why you know it's true. Now, who else is who else is on this envoy? Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, the two people that Iran said that they will never negotiate with ever again in life. These two people, along with J.D. Vance, are also going to Istanbul, where they were invited after it was announced that they are not going to be striking on Lebanon either. So they have accepted this invitation, but now they're trying to play dumb since Benjamin Netanyahu decided to fuck up this ceasefire agreement by striking Lebanon harder than he has ever struck Lebanon in his whole offense against Lebanon. What does Netanyahu have on your president? What dirt does Mossad have on your president? That the lives of our military are once again in jeopardy, and your administration is pretending like Lebanon was never included in the 10-piece deal. Now, your president has gone even further. After your president told you that it was they accepted and they found it acceptable the 10 part deal. Now your president is lying and said that no, I agreed to my own 15-point plan. Your president is trying to recreate history. What else did I want to tell you about this? Is there anything else I want to tell you about this? No, let me see. Let me double check. Oh, that's about that Vatican story. That's keg breath lying. Now, this is the latest announcement from your president. Since this is a confirmation that he's going to let Benjamin Netanyahu fuck up this peace deal. All U.S. ships, aircraft, and military personnel with additional ammunition, weaponry, and anything else that is appropriate and necessary for the lethal prosecution and destruction of an already substantially degraded enemy will remain in place in and around Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. What is the real agreement that you reach? Now he's saying that the agreement that we see, the statement that he put out about Iran's 10-point plan that he found workable. Now he's talking about some real agreement. That what is the real agreement? But have he told you what the real agreement is? Since Benjamin Netanyahu fucked up the real agreement that he told you that he made off of their 10-point plan. Okay, so they will stay in place until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. If for any reason it is not, which is highly unlikely, then the shooting starts bigger and better and stronger than anyone has ever seen before. It was agreed a long time ago, and despite all of the fake rhetoric to the contrary, no nuclear weapons. And So the threat that he put out about the nuclear weapons, and the thought that many people thought that there was going to be nuclear fallout, and that the United States was going to strike Iran with nukes, destroyed the stock market for his billionaire buddies. So now he is coming out. They're going to be striking bigger and better and badder than before, but he doesn't want to upset the stock market once again, because that was bad for billionaires. So let's be clear. We're not saying nuclear weapons. Let the stock market do its thing. Speaking of the stock market, I got a story about that as well. No nuclear weapons, and the Strait of Hormuz will be open and safe. Well, Iran has totally closed off the Strait of Hormuz. Prior to this agreement, they said about between 2 and 4 ships were passing through. Nothing's passing through right now. In the meantime, our great military is loading up and resting, looking forward actually to its next conquest. America is back. Back from where? Back from where? So that lets you know that he was totally defeated, and he accepted Iran's 10-point plan. And he felt totally defeated in having to do so. Now, let me see what this is. This is from Emmanuel Macron. Today I spoke with Iran President Mossad, as well as with US President Donald Trump. Okay. Macron, I express my hope that the ceasefire will be fully respected by each of the belligerents across all areas of confrontation, including in Lebanon. This is a necessary condition for the ceasefire to be creditable, and lasting. This is what Macron had to say about this. Now, let me show you the agreement that Donald Trump himself. I took it off my page yesterday, so I have to reload it. I want to show you. Now he's trying to say that no, it's the America 15-point plan that I put out, that I agreed to. No, it's not, Donald Trump. I'm going to show you your own writing, your own live social post that you put out about what plan that you were going to be working with. It's very simple. The internet never lets you down. Whatever you take off the internet, it is always there. It is always searchable. You should know that by now. Where is his comment? Let me find. He had so many. Here, I think it's this one right here. I do think it's this one right here. I could be wrong. I can't read it until I bring it up. This is the one of the posts that your president put out here. Official statement of Iran. Now, this is your president put out the official statement of Iran, and what are their 10 points? Number 3, no Israeli strikes on Hezbollah, including in Lebanon. Your president put that out yesterday. Trump just shared Argyri's post that he accepted the regime's 10-point proposal as a reminder. Here is the 10-point proposal. Your president put that out yesterday. What does number 3 says? No Israeli strikes on Hezbollah, including in Lebanon. And so when Caroline Leavitt came out and lied to you, understand that they are putting the lives of our military in jeopardy because Benjamin Netanyahu came in and told them, fuck your agreement. fuck you trying to save U.S. military forces from being ground up in the meat grinder, where I am refusing to put Israeli soldiers, the IDF feet on the ground in Iran, but you so stupid that you are putting American. What did Keg Breath tell you yesterday? All proud. Yeah, we had boots on the ground. Yeah, we had boots on the ground deep in Iranian territory. Yep, we had boots on the ground. Well, you notice that Israel said that they refused to put boots on the ground, but they have bust up this deal. And now we got a fool who think that it is cool and funny and something to brag about having boots on the ground, because the boots on the ground, those are American people who are in harm's way. It's not the Israeli people who bust up this agreement, people who are going to be in harm's way, with a fool running the Department of Defense thinking that it's some bragging rights to have boots on the ground in an illegal war. Jesus. Okay. I think that I don't even need to search any further. I think I found the actual. Let me see. It may be. I think there may be one more post from the idiot admitting. Here it is. Let me share this one with you. While Caroline Leavitt is trying to lie and say what the administration did or did not agree to, this is a post from 4547. And in it, based on conversation with Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, Shahbaz Sharif, the person I just showed you a minute ago, the Pakistani that J.D. Vance figured that maybe he didn't speak English well, and Sharif said that Lebanon was definitely included. Let's see what your president said. Based on conversation with Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif and Field Marshal and what is it, Asian Manure of Pakistan, and where within they requested that I hold off on the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran, and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Straits of Hormuz. I agreed to suspend the bombing and the attacks of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. A double-sided ceasefire. Now, there are reports that Israel did know what was contained in this ceasefire. And quickly after this announcement was made by your president is when they did the 10-minute strikes of over 100 missiles into Lebanon. Let's be clear on that. These are the reports that Netanyahu was very aware of this a peace agreement. This ceasefire agreement, not peace agreement, this ceasefire agreement. Now, let's see. This would be a double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives. So why are you saying that you have more bombing? There will be more bombing. Bombing like you've never seen before. There's going to be more. Our troops are resting up these 2 weeks, but no nuclear strikes. That's promised. When did you promise that? When was that ever promised? We're resting up for more strikes, more beautiful than more strikes than ever before. Okay. Also, yesterday, he told you that we have met and exceeded all military objectives, and we are very far along with the defensive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran. What did Caroline Leavitt tell you yesterday? The bitch lied. The bitch said that they had agreed to a 10-point plan, but the first 10-point plan that Iran gave them was so ridiculous that they threw it right in the trash. But what is stated about the contentions that may have been in any previous 10-point plan? Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran. So the bitch sat up there and tried to recreate history. If there was some contention in the previous plan, your president sit here and wrote that all of the previous contentions have been agreed to by the United States and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. Now, all of this recreating history, all of these lies, and now all of a sudden your president is trying to say, no, we put forth a 15-point plan. We didn't accept no 10-point plan. All of this is lies and bullshit. Now, one more important thing I would be remiss if I did not tell you about. Let me pull this story up. Let me pull this story up. If you are unaware of this, you are going to be. You may not even be surprised. I'm telling you, you may not even be surprised about this. Let me find this story. Where is it? Where is it? Is it here? No, it's not here. Hold on one second. Let me retrieve this other story that I want to make. I'm pretty sure you'll be quite disgusted, though. Hold on. Yes. Yes, we have to talk about this. We must talk about this. Are you guys familiar? It's kind of like a betting site, Polymarket. If you're not familiar with Polymarket, a lot of things have been suspected to be some way to basically do insider trading via Polymarket. If you're not familiar with Polymarket, they make bets on political things. And one of the things about Polymarket is that it has been quite peculiar how right before your president is about to make announcements about raising and lowering tariffs and all of these types of things, that some mysterious people are making millions of dollars, placing bets about 15 minutes or a half hour before your president comes out with these announcements, and they're making millions of dollars. Now, it has been questioned, who are these people who are making these strange bets 15 minutes before your president comes out and make these announcements? Have you guys heard of Polymarket? Have you guys heard about the controversy behind Poly? You need Jesus as well, Johnny. Go find him and hit the like button on your way out, Johnny. More people are going to be taking out. He's always lying. They doing too much. I concur, Foot Soldier. Now, let's get into this. Let me share. Somebody asked AI, could Polymarket be rigged? Let me see. Is this the one? I hope I didn't erase the Polymarket question. trying to get to. I think this. Okay, here we go. The question was, is the Trump family associated with Polymarket? Someone asked AI, is the Trump family directly associated with Polymarket? And AI answer was, yes, the Trump family is directly connected to Polymarket. As of 2025-2026, Donald Trump Jr. is an investor in Polymarket through his venture capital firm 1789 Capital and serves as an advisor to the platform. This connection has raised concern about potential conflicts of interest as the Trump administration has eased regulations on the prediction market industry. They call it a prediction market. Key details regarding the connection include investment and advisory roles. This is the key details that Trump Jr. does. Investment and advisory roles. Donald Trump Jr. holds a role on the advisory board of the Polymarket and is associated with significant financial backing from 1789 Capital. Regulatory support. The second Trump administration has been favorable towards prediction markets, with the CFTC dropping efforts to restrict platforms like Polymarket. Conflict of interest concern. Critics have questioned the ethics of the president's family having financial ties to a platform that bets on political outcomes. Have you guys heard about this? Have you guys heard about this? Because there now. This is a shadow company where it's hard to figure out who is making these bets 15 minutes before 47 comes out, and it's making hundreds of millions of dollars on these bets on political situations. If you guys haven't heard about this, let me share with you the article that Politico has on Polymarket. Donald Trump Jr. Tool of investment, as it were. I'm going to put this in my video file under what are they? Grifters. Under grifters, you will find the Polymarket article. It appeared in Politico. It is in my description link. Go there and connect with it and read it for yourself. Okay, let's get into this. Now, this last thing that they are concerned about is that some of these things happen to be new accounts, newly minted accounts. So they believe that people are getting this inside information and then creating new accounts, newly created Polymarket accounts. Big bet on US-Iran ceasefire in hours before Trump's announcement. Now, so they are suspecting that these people are since it has been in the news how all of these announcements that Trump's have made 15 minutes before he makes these announcements that people are making bets, unusual bets at unusual times right before. So newly created Polymarket accounts, bet big on US-Iran ceasefire in hours before Trump's announcement. Don't you find that peculiar? Well, Politico finds it peculiar. The bets came amid the president's escalating rhetoric and a few signals that a deal was imminent. That's why it's strange. A Polymarket advertisement shows Zoran Mandani and Andrew Cuomo ahead of the New York City mayoral election on Tuesday, November 4th in New York City. These are things that they are trading on. Now, these are the things that they're trading on political things, not games. Well, they really trade on everything, but they have a big section of political. They call them predictions, not bets. They just say these are predictions. New York, a group of new accounts on the prediction market, poly market, made highly specific, well-timed bets on whether the U.S. and Iran would reach a ceasefire on April 7th, resulting in hundreds of thousands of dollars in profits for these new customers. The bets were made even though in the hours before a 2-week ceasefire was announced on Tuesday, President Donald Trump rhetoric had escalated sharply, and there were few signals that a ceasefire deal was imminent. Early in the day, Trump had issued a warning on social media that a whole civilization will die tonight if Iran did not meet his demands to open the Strait of Hormuz by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time deadline. An analysis of publicly available blockchain data from Polymarket using the crypto analysis platform Dune shows that at least 50 accounts or wallets placed substantially yes bets Tuesday before Trump announced the ceasefire in a Truth Social post at around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These were the first bets made by these particular wallets. One of these wallets, created Tuesday at around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, placed roughly $72,000 bets at an average price of 8.8 cents. The buy-in for each betting event ranges from $0 to $1 each, reflecting a 0 to 100% chance of what users think could happen. This Polymarket user then cashed out for a profit of $200,000. Another which joined the platform on April 6th and traded on this exact event shows a win of $125,500. Another wallet created at 12 minutes before Trump's post made $31,908 of yes bets at 33.7 cents and is estimated to have earned a profit of $48,500. The higher price for yes at the time may have reflected the efforts late Tuesday by government of Pakistan to get Trump to extend his deadline by 2 weeks. Okay. There is also a possibility that these individual Polymarket users placed their bets expecting Trump to back down, given his habit during his second term to make bold threats only to retreat, a phenomenon his critics have derived as Trump always chicken out or taco, while some users took handsome profits and others must wait for payouts because Polymarket has labeled the April 7th Iran-U.S. ceasefire contract as disputed, given that Iran was still placing restrictions on ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz and missile attacks in the region continued. The dispute could take 48 hours to resolve. So, they paid the people who made the most money and then put a hold on the payouts for everybody else. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting that some people got their payout? The people that made the payouts earlier on and made the most money got paid out. Isn't it funny that public blockchain data cannot identify who controls the new wallets? Polymarket use proxy smart contract wallets, meaning a single user can create multiple accounts. Only Polymarket has the internal data needed to determine whether these were new user or existing users opening additional accounts. And are they going to tell you? No, they're not going to tell you. Polymarket did not respond to a request for comment. So there you go, another Trump affiliated business that is making bets on political moves that Trump may or may not make. And people are making a lot of money betting on things that it seems like the regular person, well, I guess that's what bets always are. A regular person may not know what the outcome is going to be. But the peculiar thing about all of this is it is made between hours and minutes of your president announcing his decisions on live social. So if you guys were not aware of this stuff going on, those are some things that I wanted to make you aware of. And a couple of more things, the last two things that I definitely wanted to make you aware of is the illegality that Benjamin Netanyahu is raining down on the press. As you know, Benjamin Netanyahu IDF killed 3 members of the press in Lebanon. Now, Netanyahu always says, they were hiding Hezbollah. They are Hezbollah insiders. So now, in Lebanon also, you will be disgusted to understand in those 100 missiles that rained down on Lebanon right after the ceasefire was announced within a 10-minute period of time. Benjamin Netanyahu forces struck a funeral and killed everybody who was a part of the funeral procession. Let that sink in. This is the depraved mind that our government is supporting and propping up and allowing to interrupt any type of peace a deal that is brokered to save our own troops. Let that sink in. 3 United Nations experts have called for an independent, thorough investigation into Israel's recent killing of 3 journalists in Lebanon, denouncing the deadly incident as another egregious attack on press freedom by Israeli forces. Okay, now, let me see. Let me see what else I want to share with you. Israeli military killed Al Maina, journalist Fatama Futani, and her brother, freelance photojournalist Mohammed Futani, and Al Manar's Alab Shabab in a targeted strike on their car in southern Lebanon on March 28th. If you hadn't heard about this, now, let me see. Israel officials know this. They choose to ignore it, emboldened by impunity for their previous killing of journalists in Lebanon, Gaza, and the West Bank. They said in February, the Committee to Protect Journalists reported that Israel was responsible for 2/3 of all killing of journalists in 2024 and 2025. Now, I think there is something else. If you're not aware of that, I'm gonna put this in my description box under war crimes. This is gonna be under war crimes, and there is another one I want to share with you as well. You notice there is no there are no journalists embedded with our troops over in Iran as well. So let me share this with you, this last one with you, about what happened over in Israel, over in the West Bank. What Netanyahu is up to in the West Bank in respect to journalists. Let me see. Here it is, right here. This is the Palestine Chronicle. Israel kills journalists in Gaza strike as media death toll surges. This is dated April 9th. If you are unaware, this is the latest journalist killed in Israel. Israel has killed over 262 journalists because they do not want the story out. They do not want the visuals out of what they have been doing over in Palestine. And this happened, I think, the day before yesterday. Okay. Two Palestinians, including journalist Mohammed Washi, were killed on Wednesday in an Israeli strike targeting a vehicle on Al Rashid Street, west of Gaza City. Local sources confirmed that Washi was assassinated in a strike on a vehicle in the Sheikha Aline area. So here is a picture of people discovering the vehicle. There you see the burned out vehicle right there. And look around at what were they targeting? What could they have been targeting there? Look, this is Palestine. What was the target? Did you see? Do you look around at Palestine? What could they possibly be targeting? Other than a journalist who was going to show you the visuals of what Palestine is looking like. So this is the people who have your who have all of your fucking military in the lurch because 4547 is afraid to do anything. Now, something did come up that I wanted to touch on a little bit about that Claude. Let me find that Claude thing that I saw. Here we go.
Anthropic has decided not to release its latest AI model called Claude Mythos to the full public. Now, this version is...
Let me make sure it's not playing too quickly. They're not. Anthropic is the one that our military is using, and our military said since they won't give them an opportunity to mass survey people in the United States, that they are going to give it a bad grade. But Anthropic has come up on something how Claude could be very dangerous, and so they are not going to release it to purchase by common people like you, but they are still going to sell it to different corporations and other agencies. So if you find that it's not good enough because people may be able to rob and steal from individuals if they find a hole in a file and they are able to get in there and do something nefarious to if an individual can do this, why would you still sell this to a company or an agency? This is what Claude is doing, even though they know it has a flaw where it can fuck people up. I just wanted you to know about that. Let's get into it.
Anthropic has decided not to release its latest AI model called Claude Mythos to the full public. Now, this version is apparently so advanced it can find vulnerabilities in a huge variety of software applications, which is both a great advancement potentially for improving cybersecurity and also a huge danger if used by criminals or others to hack into systems. For now, Anthropic is only making this system available to some of the biggest tech companies so they can test it and improve.
They're making it available to the biggest tech companies. Who are the biggest criminals in the United States? Your government and tech companies. These are the biggest criminals, but they want to secure it from being used by criminals. And yet they're giving it to the biggest criminals. Well, let's continue.
improve their own system.
This is in my description box. This link is in my description box under AI is alive.
The fear, of course, if it falls into cybersecurity, and also a huge danger if used by criminals or others to hack into systems. For now, Anthropic is only making this system available to some of the biggest tech companies so they can test it and improve their own systems. The fear, of course, if it falls into the wrong hands, cyber criminals, spies, the fallout could be catastrophic. My next guest.
So they're allowing other tech companies to improve their systems of what? Of stealing from these people who they get all of your data from? You should be very afraid.
Tom Friedman lays out those concerns in his latest New York Times op-ed with the headline, Anthropic's Restraint is a Terrifying Warning Sign. He's also the author of the best-selling book, among many others, From Beirut to Jerusalem. So, Tom, you write this is potentially as fundamental and significant a turning point as was the emergence of mutually assured destruction and the need for nuclear non-proliferation. That's a huge statement. How do you say that, and what is your biggest concern?
Well, Anderson, our economy now, all our biggest systems, our water systems, our airlines, our airports, our transportation and telecommunication systems, all run on software and operating systems, as do those of every other major economy in the world that we are interlinked with. And if basically we now have a software that not only is fantastically good at writing new code, but it turns out is fantastically good at finding bugs in your own code or other people's codes. That tool, that power now can be used all over the world. It would be in the hands of everyone. Imagine a world where everyone had a nuclear bazooka, basically. And because it's so easy, a cyber threat that used to be confined to.
Anthropic warns that its latest AI model could allow hackers to attack every major operating system and web browser. Now, what was it that on the eve of this annihilation of a civilization came out? It came out that Iranian hackers had been gunning for the America electrical grid and water sources, and not the lakes and rivers, your actual water systems. And that was not widely reported, even though there was a advisory, there was a warning sent out by your federal government. But do you remember any news entity sharing that story with you? As Kash Patel had fired all of the people who were familiar with the hackers and the cyber security people who were familiar with how Iran hackers worked, as they were fired by Kakai Patel. So if you did not know, Anthropic, now Pete Kegbreath is mad that they won't let Anthropic be used to autonomously kill people. He declared them a something in the defense chain, which I forget what he declared them. He declared them something that should not be used in the defense chain. They lost their appeal on that ruling. But they are still using Anthropic in the military right now. So I just wanted you to know this. At least this CEO and creator of Anthropic is alerting users and people who they are allowing to use their AI, what their AI can do. But the scary part is he's still allowing people to use this AI that can do these things. Anthropic is still being used in your Pentagon. He's still giving this AI out to other tech companies talking with some Pollyannic view that these evil people who wants to control the world and control the population is going to do the right thing with this AI that can do all the things that he's warning you that they can do. These people who don't, who cannot quickly tell you if humanity should survive, like Peter Thiel. So I dropped the link in the description box. It's under AI is Alive. I'm gonna play a little bit more of this, and then I may or may not see you tomorrow.
Intelligence organizations, big companies, was very hard and very expensive to do, is become really cheap and really easy. And that's why Anthropic.
Yeah. And Anthropic, what they've actually said, what they've disclosed is that, quote, they say the vulnerabilities this program it has spotted have in some cases survived decades of human review and millions of automated security tests. I mean, that's mind-blowing that all the current, human review, humans looking at it and all the current, AI security tests that they have run programs through and software through, all of it still had bugs that were detected by this new powerful AI.
Well, this is a point that my technology tutor and partner in this column, Craig Mundy, keeps making, that these AI capabilities, they're coming so much faster than people realize. And that we aren't, as Craig says, birthing just a new tool. Anderson, we're birthing a new species. It's not carbon-based like we are, but silicon-based. But it is a new species that we're going to have to learn to control and collaborate before it makes us its pet. So this is the front end of a really big problem.
Well, regulation, control is not a word that this White House is very interested in terms of artificial intelligence. Anthropic is probably one of the few AI companies, Dario Amodei, who left OpenAI years ago with his sister and several others to form Anthropic. They're probably the most kind of safety forward. Do you think that there will be, given now this development and others, some sort of move to, really look at kind of regulation or even from government to government? I mean, even with some of America's adversaries, you've written about the idea of the US and China kind of getting together on this.
Well, I think, Anderson, this is the front end of a fundamentally new problem we have as a species, okay? So I started out in journalism, you started out when the world was connected. During our tenure with the internet, the world became interconnected. What's happened today is the world has become interdependent, okay? As my teacher, Dov Seidman, likes to say, interdependence is no longer our choice, it's our condition. Now, we are gonna rise together or we're gonna fall together. But baby, whatever we're doing it together. Now, we can discover that early or we can discover that late, but we will discover that. It's true about climate, but it's also true now about cyber tech and all of these communication systems. No company alone can solve this problem. Therefore, no country alone can solve this problem. And therefore, sooner or later, the two tech superpowers, the US and China, are gonna have to sit down and work out this problem together, learn how to compete and cooperate on AI, because we are interdependent. That is our condition. It's not a choice.
But the thing about the U.S. use of AI, they are using this Palantir, and Peter Thiel says that democracy is not ready to keep up with computer system and technology. So therefore, democracy should be done away with. Peter Thiel has also said that people who do not agree with the growth of technology should be left behind. How will you leave these people behind? Okay, so Peter Thiel has contracts in the highest part of our government, in every government agency, from the FBI, CIA, DOA, DOJ. This is the person who says that if you are not on board with this technology shift, you are useless, and you shouldn't exist. Only people who are believers in this technology. So how are we going to come together with China when we are rewarding people who don't believe in the extending or doing anything for mankind unless they believe a certain way? So that's all I have for you guys today. All the links are in my description box. Please hit the like button on your way out, and I hope you have now AI. What is next? I'm telling you, foot soldier. This is people try to pretend and make you believe that AI is all this, that, and the other. They are trying to eliminate the population. In my opinion, the AI is all about population control and controlling your mind to make you accept a certain type of life, a lifestyle of being subservient to billionaires, and that's all they need you for. So I appreciate you guys coming in. Hit the like button, share the video out, leave a comment in the comments section after the video is done. I always read my comments, so leave me a comment, and I appreciate your support, and I hope you have a fabulous remainder of your day. I'm out of here.